Every single day, big chains quietly pull a little extra money out of your pocket through hidden fees, steadily shrinking products, deliberately confusing coupons, and subscriptions that are almost impossible to cancel. Most of it is perfectly legal, which is exactly why it works, and why so few people notice. But honesty first, this is not about criminals. It is about clever pricing you can learn to see, and regulators are finally cracking down. Using FTC actions, lawsuits, and company records, here are 10 ways chains quietly take more than you realize. Before we start, hit like and subscribe. Let's get into it. 1. Ticketmaster and the hidden fee machine. Start with the company that turned hidden fees into an art form. For years, Ticketmaster advertised one price and then, deep into checkout, piled on service fees, convenience fees, and processing fees that could add 30% or even more to the final total. A deceptive tactic that regulators specifically call drip pricing. The scale of the frustration finally forced action. In December 2024, the Federal Trade Commission passed a junk fees rule, which took effect in May 2025, requiring live event ticketing and hotels to show the full price, fees included upfront instead of springing them at the end. The change is a direct response to exactly the bait and switch pricing Ticketmaster became famous for, where the ticket you thought cost $80 somehow rang up at $110 once the mandatory fees appeared. So while Ticketmaster is sold as your simple gateway to live music and sports, that fee pile quietly raises a question the low advertised price is designed to prevent. When a company has to be legally forced to just show you the real total up front, what does that tell you about how the old advertised price was working all along? It is worth being fair about why these fees exist at all, because not every charge is pure invention. Running a ticketing platform, processing payments, and hosting an event do carry real costs, and some portion of a service fee genuinely covers them. The honest objection was never that costs exist. It was the deliberate choice to hide them until the last screen, which let one seller look cheaper than another while actually charging more. The fee itself was arguably defensible. Concealing it until you were emotionally committed to those exact seats was the part that crossed the line, which is precisely what the new rule targets. 2. Amazon Prime and the cancellation maze. Here is one of the most striking cases because a regulator put an enormous number on it. In September 2025, Amazon agreed to pay $2.5 billion to settle Federal Trade Commission allegations that it used deceptive design to enroll people in Prime and then made the subscription extremely difficult to cancel. The details are remarkable. The settlement included $1 billion in penalties and $1.5 billion in refunds to around 35 million customers, and the FTC alleged Amazon used so-called dark patterns, deliberately confusing buttons, screens, and wording to nudge people into Prime while quietly burying the option to decline. Internally, according to the case, the deliberately complicated cancellation process was nicknamed after an ancient epic about a very long war, and employees reportedly described the practice in strikingly blunt terms. Amazon settled without admitting wrongdoing, but the size of the payout speaks loudly on its own. So while Prime is sold as a convenient, money-saving membership you will love, that cancellation maze quietly raises a question the easy sign-up is designed to prevent. When joining takes one click, but leaving reportedly took a labyrinth, who was that difference really designed to benefit? It is only fair to note that Amazon settled without admitting wrongdoing, and that Prime is, for millions of people, a genuinely valuable service they knowingly and happily pay for. Fast shipping, streaming, and other perks have real worth, and plenty of members would sign up again in an instant. The problem the FTC targeted was narrower and specific. Not that Prime exists or is worthless, but that some people were allegedly nudged into it without clearly realizing and then struggled to get out. A product can be genuinely good and still be sold through a sign-up and cancellation design that regulators considered unfair, and both things can be true at once. 3. Grocery chains and the digital coupon trap. Your grocery store may be quietly splitting customers into two prices and punishing whoever does not have the app. Major chains like Kroger increasingly lock their best sale prices behind digital coupons that must be clipped in an app or online account. A 2025 investigation into Kroger's loyalty program found the company builds detailed profiles on shoppers, with one customer's file running 62 pages and guessing at his income, family size, and habits, the kind of data that can be used to target pricing and offers. So while the loyalty app is sold as a friendly way to save money and earn rewards, that two-tier pricing quietly raises a question the savings branding is designed to prevent. When the advertised sale price is only real if you own the right phone and surrender your data, is that a discount for you or a penalty for everyone who will not play along? There is a fairness angle here that deserves to be named plainly because it is easy to miss. Digital coupon pricing quietly creates a system where the people most likely to pay the higher price are often those least able to afford it. Older shoppers, low-income households without smartphones, phones and anyone uncomfortable with apps. The savviest, most connected shoppers clip the coupon and pay less, while the vulnerable pay full freight for the identical item. Whatever the intention, the effect is a pricing structure that can charge the least tech-equipped customers the most, which is close to the opposite of how a fair discount is supposed to work. 4. Cable and internet's phantom fees. Few bills are as quietly padded as the one from your cable and internet provider. Companies like Comcast have long been criticized for advertising a low promotional rate and then loading the actual bill with extra charges, a broadcast TV fee, a regional sports fee, an equipment rental charge, and a handful more, none of which were ever part of the low headline price that won you over. The tactics stack cleverly. That attractive introductory rate typically expires after a year or two and jumps sharply. The modem you could buy once is instead rented to you monthly forever. And fees with official sounding names are really just parts of the price broken out to keep the advertised number low. Added up, and a plan sold as $50 a month can easily arrive as $80 or $90, with the difference living entirely in fees most people never scrutinize, because the bill is too confusing to fight. So while your provider is sold as a simple, affordable gateway to television and the internet, that fee stack quietly raises a question the promotional price is designed to prevent. When the real bill reliably lands far above the number that sold you, was that low advertised rate ever an honest price or just the bait? To be fair, some of what shows up on a cable bill really is outside the company's control, and honesty requires saying so. Certain local taxes and government-related charges are genuinely passed through, and broadcasters really do charge cable providers to carry their channels, which is where a broadcast TV fee partly originates. But the sleight of hand is presenting these as separate, unavoidable surprises rather than folding them into an honest advertised price. And renting equipment you could cheaply own is pure margin. The pattern is less outright lying than a studied refusal to just tell you plainly and upfront what the service will actually cost each month. 5. Gyms and the membership you can't escape. The gym business runs on a quiet bet that you will keep paying whether you show up or not. Many chains make signing up effortless, a quick online form, but deliberately make canceling difficult, sometimes requiring a certified letter in the mail or an in-person visit that online-only signups never warned you about. On top of the cancellation friction sit the surprise charges. Beyond the advertised monthly rate, many gyms tack on an annual maintenance fee that hits your account once a year, often around the same time, catching members who forgot it existed, and some keep billing for months after a member believes they have quit. The entire model quietly depends on inertia, on the reality that a meaningful share of members pay for a service they have stopped using because leaving is engineered to be more trouble than the monthly fee feels worth. So while a gym membership is sold as your fresh start toward health and energy, that cancellation trap quietly raises a question the easy sign-up is designed to prevent. When a business makes joining instant but quitting a chore, is it selling you fitness? Because so many pay while rarely showing up. That is not necessarily sinister. Plenty of members value the option even unused, but the deliberate cancellation friction tips it from a fair bet into an engineered trap for the forgetful. 6. Food delivery apps and the triple markup ordering dinner to your door can cost far more than you realize in several stacked layers at once. Apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats frequently charge more than you would pay in person in at least 3 ways, and the design makes each one easy to miss in the moment of hungry ordering. The markups compound. First, the menu prices inside the app are often quietly inflated above what the restaurant charges at its own counter. Second, a stack of fees, delivery fee, service fee, small order fee, and sometimes a vague regulatory fee gets added at checkout. And third, tipping is layered on top of all of it. A $12 meal can easily become a $25 transaction. And because the convenience is real and the breakdown is buried, most people absorb the difference without ever adding it up. Regulators have begun scrutinizing exactly these stacked delivery fees. So, while food delivery is sold as effortless, tap and relax convenience, that triple markup quietly raises a question the one-tap ordering is designed to prevent. When the same meal can cost double through the app, how much are you paying for dinner? And how much for simply not seeing the full price? To be fair to the delivery apps, real work and real cost sit behind that order, and the convenience is genuinely valuable to many people. A driver has to be paid, the platform has to be maintained, and door-to-door delivery in minutes is a real service that did not exist at this scale a decade ago. The honest criticism is not that delivery should be free, but that the true cost is fragmented across inflated menu prices, multiple separately named fees, and tips in a way that obscures the total until it is too late to reconsider. Priced transparently, many people would still order. The issue is how much effort goes into making the full number hard to see. 7. Hotels and the resort fee con. Book. A hotel and the price price you agree to is often not the price you pay. For years, many hotels advertised an attractive nightly rate and then added a mandatory resort fee or destination fee at check-in, often $20 to $50 a night, supposedly covering things like the pool, the gym, or the Wi-Fi that you may well never actually use during your stay. The trick was in the timing and the fine print. Because the fee was mandatory but disclosed late, it let a hotel appear cheaper than a rival in a search while actually costing more, quietly defeating the entire point of comparison shopping. This is precisely why hotels were named alongside ticketing in the FTC's 2024 junk fees rule, which now requires the full price, resort fees included, to be shown up front, and admission by regulators that these fees had crossed from annoying into deceptive. So while a resort is sold on relaxation, escape, and a clear nightly rate, that late added fee quietly raises a question the advertised price is designed to prevent. When the mandatory charge is hidden until after you have chosen, was the low rate that won your booking ever a real price at all? The resort fee is perhaps the purest example on this list of a charge engineered specifically to defeat comparison shopping, which is what makes it so instructive. Search engines and booking sites rank hotels by advertised nightly rate, so a hotel that quietly moves $20 or $30 of its true price into a later resort fee vaults ahead of an honest competitor showing its real total. The fee, in other words, is not mainly about paying for the pool, it is about winning the ranking. That is exactly the deceptive mechanism the FTC's rule was written to shut down, by forcing the true total into that first comparison. 8. Streaming services and the slow squeeze. The service that once felt like a cheap escape from cable is quietly starting to resemble it. Streaming platforms like Netflix have steadily raised prices year after year, while, in a striking twist, introducing commercials so that customers can now pay more than before, even as the yearly total climbs well past what cable nostalgia would ever have predicted. So while streaming is sold as affordable, on-demand freedom from the cable bundle, that slow squeeze quietly raises a question the low starting price is designed to prevent. When the service keeps costing more and showing more ads, one small step at a time, how far is it really from the very bundle it promised to save you from? It is genuinely fair to acknowledge that streaming services face real cost pressures and are not simply being greedy. Producing original shows is enormously expensive. Content licensing costs have soared, and the early streaming prices were arguably unsustainable, loss leaders meant to grab market share. Some price increases are a legitimate correction toward what the service actually costs to run. The honest concern is not that prices rose at all, but the combination, quietly raising prices, adding ads to tiers people already pay for, and cracking down on sharing, all at once and all incrementally. So the steadily climbing real cost is easy to accept a little at a time and hard to see in total. 9. Budget airlines and the unbundling game. That unbelievably cheap airfare is often a number you can never actually pay. Budget carriers like Spirit and Frontier built an entire model on advertising a rock-bottom base fare, and then charging separately for nearly everything that used to be included, from carry-on bags to seat selection to printing a boarding pass at the counter. The unbundling adds up fast and by design. A headline fare of $49 can quietly double or more once you add a carry-on bag. Choose a seat so your family can sit together and get hit with change or service fees, and the cruelest versions charge steep penalties for things like a slightly oversized bag at the gate. The base fare exists mainly to win the search engine comparison, functioning as bait, while the real cost assembles itself piece by piece only after you are committed to that airline. So while budget airlines are sold on unbeatable, everyone can fly low fares, that unbundling game quietly raises a question the tiny base price is designed to prevent. When the advertised fare is one almost no real traveler ends up paying, is it a price or just a lure to pull you past the point of turning back? In fairness, there is a real and even defensible logic to unbundling, and some travelers genuinely benefit from it. A passenger flying with only a small personal item, no seat preference, and no checked bag really can fly for close to that low base fare, paying nothing for services they do not use, which is arguably fairer than baking everyone's bags into one price. The problem is not the concept, but the presentation. Advertising a fare that the airline knows the vast majority of real travelers will never actually pay, then revealing the true cost only in pieces once you are committed. Honest unbundling would show the realistic total. Bait unbundling hides it. 10. Shrinkflation, the ripoff. Nobody sees end. With the quietest trick of all, the one that gives this video its title, because almost nobody notices it in the moment. Across nearly every chain and brand, shrinkflation, the practice of reducing a product's size while keeping the price the same or raising it, has become a standard, deliberate response to rising costs. It works precisely because it is invisible. The cereal box, the bag of chips, the roll of paper towels, the tub of ice cream, all quietly lose a little product while the packaging and the price stay familiar, so you pay the same or more for measurably less without any single moment of noticing. Companies openly acknowledge that shrinking a product is easier for customers to accept than raising its price, because the human eye tracks the number on the tag far more closely than the ounces inside, which is exactly why this remains the most widespread and least detected way chains quietly take more from you. So while every brand is sold on giving you the same beloved product you have always trusted, that invisible shrinking quietly raises the real question this whole video is built on. When the price holds steady while the amount inside keeps falling, how many of these small, silent ripoffs are you absorbing every week without ever once seeing them happen? It is worth being fair and admitting that shrinkflation is, in a sense, a genuine response to a real problem, not pure villainy. And none of those is painless. Shrinking the package is simply the option customers punish least, because we are wired to notice a higher price far more than a slightly lighter box. Understanding that does not make it feel better, but it does reframe it. Shrinkflation is less a unique scam than the quietest available answer to inflation, chosen precisely because it is the one we are least likely to catch. So 10 quiet ways the money leaves your pocket. Most of them legal, most of them designed to go unnoticed, but noticing is exactly the defense. Here's what actually works. What actually works, seeing the ripoff clearly. The single most powerful habit is to always find the real total price before you commit, because nearly every trick on this list, it depends on hiding it. Read the bill and the checkout screen line by line, watch for fees with official sounding names, and thanks to the new FTC rule, expect hotels and ticket sites to show you the full total upfront, then hold them to it. For subscriptions, set a calendar reminder before any free trial or annual renewal hits, and cancel the moment something stops earning its keep, rather than letting inertia bill you for months. A few specific moves neutralize the rest. Buy your own modem instead of renting one forever. Compare the in-store menu price before ordering delivery. Clip the digital coupons or ask the store about its policy for shoppers without the app, and check the unit price, the cost per ounce printed on the shelf tag, to catch shrinkflation in the act. Above all, treat the advertised number as the opening offer, not the real price, because on this entire list, the headline figure and the final total are almost never the same thing, and the gap between them is precisely where these chains quietly make their money, which means the decision, as always, is about information, not outrage. Information. Here's the honest balance to carry out of this video, because a title with ripoff in it deserves a fair landing. The practices are real and well documented. The hidden fees, the cancellation mazes, the two-tier coupon pricing, and the silent shrinking are not conspiracy theories, but patterns confirmed by regulators, lawsuits, and the company's own disclosures. Billion-dollar settlements and new federal rules do not appear over imaginary problems, and if you have felt quietly nickel and dimed by these chains, you are not imagining it. But it is only fair to be precise about the word rip-off, because most of this is not fraud or theft. With few exceptions, these are legal business practices operating in a gray zone of aggressive pricing and clever design, not crimes. And the companies would argue, sometimes reasonably, that fees reflect real costs, that unbundling lets thrifty customers pay only for what they use, and that shrinking a product beats raising its price. The honest issue is rarely outright lying. It is the deliberate friction and misdirection that make the true cost hard to see until you have already committed. There is also a genuinely hopeful thread running through all of this that is worth holding on to. These tactics are finally facing real pushback. The FTC's junk fees rule now forces hotels and ticket sellers to show honest totals. A record settlement, targeted subscription, dark patterns, and regulators are openly scrutinizing delivery fees and grocery pricing. That progress happened largely because customers complained loudly enough to be heard, which means the single most important thing you can do, noticing and speaking up, genuinely works and has already changed the rules. So the practical version is calm and clear. Do not panic and do not swear off every chain, but do refuse to be a passive payer. Find the total price first, read every line of the bill, cancel what you do not use, check the price per ounce, and treat the advertised number as bait until the final total proves otherwise. Awareness is the one thing every trick on this list depends on you lacking. So simply paying attention quietly turns the whole game back in your favor. If this helped you see where your money has quietly been going, go ahead and like it. It helps this reach the people who need to see it. Share it with the friend who never checks the bill or the one still paying for a subscription they forgot they had, because now they will know exactly what to look for. And if you want more videos that pull apart what is really behind the everyday businesses most people never question, subscribe and turn on notifications, because the more clearly you understand how these decisions actually get made, the better the decisions you get to make for yourself. We will see you in the next one.